Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the RaceFace, well, actually, to the Grid Championship, brought to you by Mettlestate and RaceFace. Glad to have you guys here. My name is Stephen Koenig, and not in the com box this evening, but is out on the track, going to give us a little bit of insight, is Janneman Price. But guys, welcome to round number 2 of the Grid Championship, Season 3. Can you believe it? And it's taken us all the way out to Barcelona. Really excited to be here. It's going to be another very exciting, well, how can I say, a very exciting race, other than we're going to have guys properly slugging it out, seeing who can claw their way to the top of the field. So while we're waiting for the guys to get onto the grid, they will be heading towards their qualifying. Let's take a look at where we are here in Barcelona with a track preview. So, Barcelona, a track that's known for high degradation tires. The guys are going to have to really work hard. Long pit straight is going to challenge everyone and helps everyone who has got a low drag car. Into turn 1, into Elf, through Elf, into Renault, to Repsol. It's all about high degradation, and follow the leader as you power your way through Wraith, into Campuser, as down the big straight. It's going to be helpful for going and getting a little bit of a tow before Lecuxia, where you got to get on the inside and try and get your competitors out. Make your way through Bangshadable along with New Holland and get the best drive as you make your way out onto the track. All this is going to happen tonight. We're going to see guys really testing the boundaries of what they can do, and I promise you we're going to see some very interesting racing based on what we saw in the GT3 Sprint Series a little bit earlier on. I think we're in for a great run. So let's drop down to qualifying and see how it's all going. So welcome to qualifying here at Barcelona. Daniel de Villiers out on circuit and trying to make his way around the track. And he's with the PWSR Alpha. It does look like delivery hasn't quite loaded in, and I do apologize for such. Not quite sure why, but we'll investigate. Kurt Klaschkin of KSR Ground Zero first out, along with the returning Tariq Adam from Genesis Esports. He's going to be heading out onto the circuit. Bashir Jadwat will be moving out a little bit as well. So while the guys are making their way around the circuit, let's take a review of the championship as it stands. So, Philip Minard is in first place with Jean Lacey Esports, followed by Christian Deploy in second, Daniel Rowe in third, Bernard Barkes and Mac van der Merwe. Perazzo in sixth place, along with Vega Krobler, Nicholas Manuel. Then we have got Fenta going and rounding out. Christian Fenta hoping to make a little bit more noise as he makes his way around the circuit. In 9th place, Christopher Adloff in 10th, Kutzer in 11th, and we have got the likes of Gideon Rayner in 12th. So, as it all builds up, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be one exciting evening of action right here at the Grid Championship. Glad to have you guys around, and make sure you hit that subscribe and follow as we keep an eye on all the action. So let's take a look at as it stands. Kurt Klaschkin currently in first place with his time. A couple of guys still looking to get out there on the board. Tariq Adams still in the pits. Nicholas Manuel is out. He is trying to make improvements on his time. He's lying in fourth place at the moment. Christian Deploy having a chat to a couple of the guys, saying that they battled a little bit with their tire degradation, especially on the Ferraris, the Porsches, and the Lamborghinis, all suffering the same little hurdles, where the cars had heavy tire degradation, especially onto the left-hand front and right-hand rear, as that's where most of the pressure is being put onto these cars. So the guys are going to have to keep that in mind as they're going around. Remember, they do have 2 mandatory pit stops that they have to deal with, and that is going to affect the race. They've got to work out the strategy and figure out what is going to be the leading top as they make their way through. So Kurt Klaschkin putting in the fast lap time, 1:43.9. That gets, sorry, 144.0. That gets beaten up by Sanjin Pillay, going and doing 143.9. He's getting chased down by his teammate. Only able to do a 144.1 that time around. Henry Mayer in 4th place, 144.5. Daniel De Villiers doing a 144.7. Now, there's one name that I'm looking for in particular, and that is Cameron De Bastos. This man over here, I've been getting it wrong all the time, so I just want to highlight Cameron De Bastos. Has been giving me a few gears to get it right. There we go, Cameron. I mean, a.k.a. Christian. I mean, Cameron. Daniel DeMatros-Petro out in 1st place. Sanjay Pillay in 2nd place. Keep an eye on Daniel DeMatros-Petro. Very, very quick last night in the GT3 Sprint Series and looking to make a big impact once again. Let's see how it's all going to go. It's going to be rather challenging for all the drivers as they make their way through. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how the guys are going to take this on and where is it all going to end up. 143.7. We did get down to a 142, and that was actually done by Ryan Ottens last night. He managed to get into the 142s, which is, well, for anyone who hasn't ever seen it, it's incredibly quick. To get a 142 is not the easiest thing to do. And to be able to lock yourself into that sort of side, it's definitely really, really looking forward to seeing how the guys are going to make it work. And there we go, Sanjin Pillay coming across the line, bettering his lap time, 143.3. Ryan Ottens following suit with a 143.6. He's lying in 2nd place. Daniel DeMatros-Petro down into 2nd place, but is quickest through the last sector. 0.6 up on the last lap time. Can he carry the pace through? This should be enough to bump him into 1st place. If he can keep the drive up, and does so. Daniel DeMatros-Petro up into 1st place. Brandon Kruger, 0.1 up on his lap time. Trying to get a little bit quicker. 0.2. Losing just that little bit of time. But Brandon Kruger really putting up a fight and doing everything he can. Henry Mayer also 0.3 up on his last lap time. Trying to get a little bit more pace through the sectors and hoping that he can get a little bit more of a charge. So it's absolutely incredible. And just taking a look over to the grandstands. Out, you guys out in the virtual world. And let's take a look out to Twitch. So if you're not familiar with it, go to twitch.tv/Mettlestate and come and see the epic competitions going on. And I see JZA is Luke Addison Racing. Let's take a look down through the listings. Trying to take a look. I don't see him jumping out at me at the moment. So I don't think he's out on circuit. Looking down the listings, we have got 35 cars out in the field, which is absolutely incredible. But I don't see Luke Addison racing this evening, unfortunately. But we will see him coming back. We will see him putting up a fight. I know he's got a bit of a fight to go and wants to show his teammates what he can do. Ryan Otten's trying to get a little bit better than his last lap time. Daniel DeMatros-Petro doing a 143.2 as his quickest lap time. And let's take a look over to YouTube land at RaceFace.Pro. Jan Kleinans saying, good luck. Hope he's ready for this. His tires aren't ready for it, but your body's ready. Your body is ready, buddy. We know that. So excited for the race. Good to see it. Yanaman not here. He's not in the commentary box. But for everyone that is used to his voice and used to seeing him, well, there he is out in the field. So Yanaman looking to go and duke it out. And we'll probably hear from him a little bit later just to give him a bit of insight of racing with pros. He's been working really, really hard. So, yeah, for the guys that aren't too sure, my usual co-commentator out there on the circuit, which is brilliant. And, all right, just taking a look. Mac van der Merwe, unfortunately, not racing this week. And Annie Riskin, my nephew, is racing. So I'd love to know. Let's show a bit of the family. So, Annie, if you can let me know who the family member is, because it'll be quite interesting to go and get it. and have a chat to the guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we make our way through, Daniel Petro up into first place, Ryan Ottens into second, Tariq Adam into third place. Good to see him back out there. Sanjin Pillay, Cody Sherritt back out, and he's going in for a bit of a run. Also, see his livery for some odd reason giving a bit of an issue, so I do apologize for that. There was a patch that came out and it looks like it affected something. But Cody Sherritt back out there. He's hoping to get a little bit more of a run. Actually quickest through the sector and puts himself into first place, doing a 1:43.1. So well done, Cody. And that's bumping down the field. Henry Mayer in 6th place. Then we got Giovanni Brizzo out there. He's in 7th place. Bego Krobler. Jason Absmeyer into 9th. And he's looking to go out on a absolute high. Last night he went and landed up getting into the podium spots. Last race, he was right at the back and said he had a lot of work to do. Been out of the rig for quite some time. Was part of the WRT team, the White Rabbit Gaming. He's back, and he's back with a vengeance with Evolved Racing. Ronaldo Busma also out on... He's in 10th place. Got Brandon Kruger in 11th. Kurt Glashkin, Bashir Jadwat. Good to see him back out there. Followed by Jason McGregor, Morgan McCall, Justin Lotus, Johannes Kreiling, Christian Deploy down in 18th position. Bernard Barkhuizen, Essie Esterhuis, Nicholas Manuel, Ruben Fenter, Dean Kabasa, Jan van der Merwe, Darren Miller, along with Alan Patterson, Guillermo Monton, Grant Sebastian, Jude Neville, Cameron De Bastos, Janneman Price in 31st, 32nd, Jan Kleinan, Mr. Kleinans, who was busy texting. Ramona Yonka, followed by Gideon Reyna, Andre Seradio, and Bernard King making it late to the party. But good to see the Bernard King back out there. Now, Bernard King is one of 2 optometrists that I do know that race with us. The other one is Devin Delport, which is his birthday today. So happy birthday, Devin Delport of Oculus Racing from Mettlestate, the Grid Championship. We're wishing you a very, very happy birthday. Good to see. And he's supporting his teammate. It's out there, the likes of Nicholas Manuel. And taking a look, support for Gideon Reyna and Brandon Kruger also getting a bit of support out there, which is absolutely fantastic to see guys going and jumping in left, right, and center. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you go out to twitch.tv/Mettlestate. Hit the follow button along with the bell notification icon for all the competitions coming up. You don't want to miss it. And if you're out in RaceFace land at RaceFace.Pro, out on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because we're on our road to 1,000 subscribers. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But as we make our way through, so far, no one's been able to dethrone Tariq Adam with a 1:42.9 as his quickest lap time. Followed by Cody Sherritt in his teammate car, hoping to get a little bit of a run. Daniel Petro in 3rd place. Ryan Otten, Sanjin Pillay in 5th. Morgan McCall up into 6th place. Henry Mayer, Jason Absmeyer. And so far, Giovanni Pizzo was up on his time and puts himself into 3rd place, locking out 1, 2, and 3 for Genesis Esports at the moment. So absolutely phenomenal run for him. And let's see if Absmeyer can make anything about it. He's still out on circuit. 0.1 up on his last lap time. Trying to carry as much momentum through the Porsche, being very unwieldy in some of these corners. The guys worrying about heavy degradation. Bernard Kruger also. And there's Tim the cameraman. Good thing Tim the cameraman's out there. Did you know Tim the cameraman won League of Legends, Dota, and Valorant World Championship on the same night? The more you know about Tim the cameraman. He's out there going and making sure we're getting the good shots. So big thank you to Tim the cameraman. Sanjin Pillay out in 6th place, down 1.7 on his last lap time. So he's been having a difficult time. Jason Absmeyer, he's 1.1 up. Brandon Kruger, 0.2 up. Gideon Reyna, 0.2 up. So a couple of guys up on their last lap time, hoping it can make it through. Jason Absmeyer making his way through the final sections, just trying to keep it nice and tidy into the toe. Runs a little bit over the curb. I think that's going to hurt him slightly. He's down into 10th place. Brandon Kruger taking 9th place. Let's see if he'll be able to bump himself up. Does so. Bumps himself up into 7th place for the starting grid. Sanjin Pillay still trying to go around for the Hybrid Academy Piston team, he's hoping to try and get a little bit more of a run. Brandon Kruger trying to get a little bit quicker. Last lap time was 1:43.5, trying to improve it now. Gideon Rayner down in 17th. He's 0.4 up on his last lap time. This is going to move him up if he can keep it all together. 0.5. Can he keep the power down? Sliding a little bit around. Gets it all going and across the line, putting himself into 10th place. Gideon Rayner going and jumping himself into 10th, which is absolutely amazing, amazing stuff. Well, it is going to be, it's going to be amazing. Big shout out to everyone there in the grandstands. Glad to see you both on Twitch and on YouTube. And just seeing a lot of guys supporting. We have got support for Sanjin Pillay going and saying he's going to have a good group. What are my predictions for tonight? Sure. Now, this is a difficult one. Well, we saw the pace of Cody Sherritt before he got disconnected in race number 1 last week. Tariq Adam coming in as a little bit of a dark horse, 1 race down, hoping to make a little bit more of a jump up. It's going to be close, but keep your eyes on Daniel Dematros Petro. He was fighting out with Ryan Ottens to the line last night, literally 3rd glass corner, managed to get past and go. So let's see how it is going to work. It's between Daniel and Ryan Ottens at this point for best battle. But a lockout for Genesis Esports at the top is going to be very, very interesting. And I mean, take a look at the time differences from first right the way through to 18th place are less than a second within one another. So it is going to be quick. It is going to be amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're in for a proper race as a couple of drivers making their way through. Daniel Rowe is going to be last to come across the line. He's 0.3 up on his lap time. Let's see if he can just carry the pace. Daniel Rowe also not one to count out just as yet. He's been putting in some serious work with the Mercedes. Says it feels okay around Barcelona. It's not tight. If you can describe it through the corners, it's not very tight, but he's trying to make it work. So let's see if that's going to be able to help him. He's hoping that the longevity of the tires are going to last out for him with the car, and that's going to be the big benefit of him. He's 0.2 up on his last lap time. This should move him out of 17th. Yep, bumps him up into 12th. So, while we got everyone gritting, let's take a look to something happening out in Mettlestate for you guys to join in. And we are back. Prizes to be won, ladies and gentlemen. It is something to truly see. A big thank you and a big shout out to our series sponsor, Mettlestate, putting up a prize with Kruger to go and win a microphone and a microphone stand. Definitely something I won't lie, I did look at doing. I thought maybe of clipping once or twice, but we'll have to take a look and see. So let's go through the grid as it stands. So big thank you to our support. So we got Tariq Adam, Cody Sherritt, Giovanni Prizzo, Daniel Dematros Petra, Ryan Otten, Sanjan Pillay, Jason Absmeyer, Morgan McCall, Henry Mayer, Gideon Renner in the top 10, along with Brendan Kruger, Daniel Rowe, Kurt Klaschken, Bego Krobler, Ronaldo Boersma, Bernard Barkhuizen, Bashir Jadwat, Jason McGregor, Grant Sebastian, and Justin Lotus in our top 20. Whew! They had to do that rather quickly because we are already making to the start line, and I do apologize for going quite quick, but it is a quarter formation lap as they make their way around. All eyes are going on Tariq Adam and Cody Sherritt leading out the pack. Let's see what they'll be able to do heading into turn 1. Or will they get caught sleeping with Giovanni Prezzo and Daniel going and chasing down? And away they go, off to a flurry of the start. 39 cars all launching out the box. And it does look like Cody Sherritt tucking himself into second place. Giovanni starting to feel the pressure going on the inside, trying to lock down, and has got Daniel Dematros Petra around him, trying to go around the outside, making it all stick. Ryan Otten's also trying his luck around Jason Absmeyer as they make their way through. One car going off, though, and that actually looks like to be a Renner that's dropping a little bit further down. Henry Mayer getting ahead of Renner, who's trying to pull himself back onto the circuit. And it's turning into a monstrous battle for all of them as they slug their way through. All the drivers just doing whatever they can. Renner getting dropped out a little bit wide, though, and landing up with a problem. Giovanni Prizzo has got Ryan Ottens all over the back of him. Jason Absmeyer pulling in tow as well, trying to get a little bit closer and pull himself along. So as every single one of the drivers now looking to go and make a little bit more of a move, they're going to have to slug it out. Ryan Otten's just keeping nice and close to the back of Giovanni. And Jason Absmeyer also joining into that party a little bit further down. Gideon Rayner's got Brandon Kruger, Ronaldo Boersma, and Bashir Jadwat all over the back of them, hoping that they can get a little bit more of a tow and try and pull themselves along. So let's see how this is all going to turn out. And I think it's going to be a rather mighty challenge for all the drivers as they slug their way through. Off to a great start, though. Gideon Rayner going super defensive at the moment, trying to keep himself ahead and go after Sanjan Pillay, all starting to run in tow. But with lap number 1 just about completed, Tariq Adam leading out the field. Cody Sherritt in second place. And Daniel De Villiers going and reporting, unfortunately, he's out due to PC going and giving him issues. So that's rather unfortunate to Daniel De Villiers. Daniel Dematros Petra in third place. Ryan Ottens in fourth, getting ahead of Giovanni Prizzo. Giovanni doing everything he can, trying to keep in tow and pull himself along. At this point, it's going to be a monstrous battle. Sanjan Pillay in sixth place. Gideon Rayner in seventh, along with Brandon Kruger right up behind him. Ronaldo Boersma not breaking out. Bashir Jadwat as well. Bernard Barkhuizen getting into the fight, followed by Jason McGregor lying in 12th place with Henry Mayer right onto the back of him. Henry Mayer really trying to lean in a huge amount of pressure, dropping a wheel off on the dirt. That's going to lose him. And it is going to be a monster run. And I do apologize. Yes, Glasshagen, I think, is the correct way of doing it. I do apologize. I pride myself on completely butchering names. Unfortunately, so do apologize if you guys do see something. I love to see the comments out from the grandstands. Brandon Kruger keeping ahead of Gideon Rayner as Gideon trying everything he can. Look to the inside, look to the outside. Now he's got Ronaldo Boersma all over the back of him. This is for 9th position, and a bit of a 3-car battle going on as the drivers make their way through, as they try and get a little bit more of a run. Rayner actually dropping a wheel off onto the dirt, and that's not going to help him at this point. Now needs to get back into the tow. Gideon Rayner trying to get a little bit more of a run, but losing out. And it does look like a couple of cars coming into the pits early on. That's Jadwat is the first of the cars to come into the pit. So a couple of guys deciding to get their first mandatory pit stop out of the way and get them moving forward and try and cut it down. Now, guys have been doing a bit of laps and got to chat to a few of them before the race. And the guys going and saying that the tires are going to be a concern. Some of them fading out after 30 minutes. Others saying they're going to try and push it just a little bit longer. With 1 hour and 20 minutes of racing, we should see roughly pit stops happening about last 40 minutes should be your last pit stop. Last 30 to 40 minutes is going to be your last set of pit stops that we've seen actually work in the race. At the moment, Cody Sherritt putting in the fastest lap time of the race, 1:44.0, as he chases down his teammate, trying to lead a little bit more of a charge and close down on the likes of Tariq Adam. So let's see how that's all going to balance out. Ronaldo Boisma right up to the back of Gideon Rayner as he puts on a monstrous charge. At the moment, trying to close down on the rest of the field. Grant Sebastian with Essie all over him. Essie trying to look up on the inside. Grant Sebastian going and making sure that's not going to happen. Bego Krobler chasing him down in the Audi, trying to close down with Bernard King in 15th place, doing a phenomenal job. So at the moment, let's take a look at who's got the highest climbs. And Essie has gone up 10 positions from where he started. Alan Patterson up 15 positions from when he started. Bernard King up 12 positions. Ramona Yonka is up 11 positions. Ria Mouton up 13 positions. And Andre Serradio up 12 positions. So far, biggest loss is going to Jason Absmeyer with 17 positions down, along with Justin Lotus, 17 positions down. So a couple of drivers taking heavy hits early on in the race in terms of their positioning. But let's see how it's going to work out as the race continues. Grant Sebastian, Essie Hayes, Bego Krobler all in tow. Bernard King starting to try and close down that gap. Alan Patterson feeling the pressure from behind. He's got Johannes Kraling and Morgan McCall into the battle. Morgan trying to keep as much of a tow as possible to pull himself along in that max speed Ferrari. Johannes Kraling just ahead, trying to keep up a little bit of momentum as he battles his way through, pulling along, getting onto the back of Alan Patterson. The Lamborghinis all doing what they can. Bego Krobler trying to go for a pass on the outside of Essie, couldn't make it stick, and Bernard King hunting down that inside line with the Porsche 992 GT3 as they make their way around the circuit. The Audi R8 being a very formidable foe, won quite a few championships, actually going and winning the DTM championship, doing very, very well in it, and a customer-based car that a lot of people seem to be enjoying. So translation onto the likes of, whoa, there we go, going into the pit, and that is Bego Krobler going across. So absolutely phenomenal stuff. Morgan McCall getting a little bit of a jump. So Bego down into the pits. He's getting his early pit stop done. And let's see how it's going to work as they make their way through. Morgan McCall in 17th place, going after Johannes Kraling, one of our closest battles once again. Sanjin Pillay, though, has closed down the gap as well to Giovanni Prizzo. Giovanni trying to go and battle it out. Sanjin Pillay not giving up at this moment. And Giovanni trying everything he can. He's onto the back. And that actually looks to be either Janeman Price or Christian Deploy. That actually might be Christian Deploy. That's a little bit further up. Who's, well, fallen down the ladder. And take a look. There's Janeman Price. He's in a battle with Nicholas Manuel. So where is his teammate? His teammate a little bit further down. So Christian Deploy down in 36th position, getting swamped out by the leaders. Has got to be very careful as he's got a very close battle behind him of Sanjin Pillay and Brandon Kruger. They have to try and figure their way around. Ryan Otten starting to close down onto Daniel Dematros Petro now. And this is a battle for third and fourth at the moment. You can see Daniel trying to keep it all together, sliding his way around, hoping that he can keep up as much momentum as possible. And I want to talk a little bit here. I see that Giovanni going and getting his dad, Prezzo, like Paul Zero. I do, so Paul Zero. I will get it right. I have asked to get a voice message. Guys, please send me voice messages of the surnames. I want to get it right. That's my goal by the end of the championship, especially with Giovanni. Paul Zero. I'm getting there. I'll figure it out. But I love to see the guys from the grandstands going and letting us know. It keeps us on our toes, I've got to say. I really, really love it. Daniel Petro has got Ryan Ottens all over the back of him. Ryan Ottens trying to look for the inside line, not able to do it just as yet. Has to back off, getting into the toe. Now it becomes a bit of a sitting and waiting game. How much pressure do you want to put onto the driver ahead? How much are you willing to force your tires to go through those heat cycles? And he's got to be very, very careful with it. So Giovanni Porzio going and making his way around. And he is in 5th place. There we go, managed to get. Ryan Ottens getting the jump over Daniel Dematros. Daniel trying everything he can. Tries to go back on the inside of him. Just wasn't able to. Ryan Ottens up into 3rd place. Daniel Dematros Petro down into 4th place. But now he has got the ability to go on a little bit of a chase. Well, he's got the likes of Sanjan Pillay. Trying to chase down Giovanni. Sanjan Pillay hoping to get a little bit closer. They got past Mr. Deploy. And now having to try and slug it out. Sanjan Pillay got Brandon Kruger also closing down. Ronaldo Boersma, about 6 seconds back. He has got a problem with Jason McGregor chasing him down. So Jason McGregor doing everything he can to keep up the run. But let's see, Giovanni now going on the defensive, trying to hold back Sanjan Pillay. Sanjan Pillay hoping to get a little bit more of a run. But it looks like Giovanni just getting a little bit hooked up as he slides his way through, making it a little bit more comfortable as he puts the power on. So absolutely phenomenal stuff coming from our pro tier. And this is the Grid Championship round number 2. And it is turning into a big run. Cody Sherritt putting in the fastest lap time, 1:43. Still keeping a consistent pace up to Tariq Adam. I wonder if they're going and having a chat to one another, see what the strategy is going to be. Sanjan keeping very, very close to Giovanni. Brandon Kruger now joining into the party. He's right behind as he managed to close down. Brandon Kruger now looking to try and look up on the inside. Now the Ferraris have been rumored to have more tire degradation on Barcelona than any of the other cars. Reports coming in from the teams based on the racing last night, where the guys put them through some extreme heat cycles. The Ferraris had the heavy degradation on the tires, especially on that right rear. Lamborghinis was on the left front, taking a bit of strain, but that was due to high heat temperatures that they're going to be careful of. We are heading into a bit of a sunset, so we're going to see our drivers going a little bit into the night, where the headlights are going to be extremely valuable for the guys to try and spot out their apexes as they make their way through. It is going to be a huge race for these guys, and to maximize the points is going to be crucial for the early on in the championship, for this 8-race championship of the Grid Championship. Season 3, can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Season 3, and still going strong. So far, 37 cars in. We started with 39, so a couple of disconnects that can be expected due to mechanical errors, due to load shedding, unforeseen circumstances coming into play. Dean Kabasa, Ramona Yonka now doing battle. Ramona looking to go up on the inside, not able to make it stick. He is trying to battle his way through a little bit further down. We've got Andre Serradio, Darren Miller, hoping to get a little bit more of a run with themselves and having a great toe. So a couple of guys really putting in a little bit more work to try and keep themselves up at the top. Back up to our top 10, though. Ronaldo Boersma and McGregor doing everything they can in tow. Does look like Jason having a little bit more of a run and now trying to go and work for it. And, well, everyone is... well, everyone is in the cars now. I can release some information that has been sent to me. And this is actually from our resident co-commentator, Janeman Price. He's down in 30th position and seems to be running to the same strategy a lot of guys have gone to. So, we have a rule that you've got 2 tires for the entire weekend. So, Janeman's strategy to this and following suit was a couple of guys went out for 1 or 2 laps to ensure they put in 1 banger lap. Not to go and hurt the tires too much, not to put it through too much heat cycles, and that they can keep going. They're going to skip. Some of them have skipped quali or did 1 or 2 laps just to keep it going. They're going to pit end of lap 1 and add 1 liter to the fuel. That allows them to get rid of a 1 mandatory pit stop. That works. Second pit stop is going to be halfway for fuel and put on the second set of tires. Now, based on what we saw last night on the GT3 Sprint Series, the guys went and had a great bit of run where we saw putting on tires, the guys were able to make up 0.5 of a second on people that didn't put on tires. So strategies coming into play, a lot of people also working out the strategy of saving the tires as much as possible in qualifying, put in 1 or 2 banger laps, then move out, get into the race, and focus on keeping it going. So, like in the case of Gideon Reina and Ronaldo Boersma, where they're pushing early on their tires, you can see Ronaldo getting a little bit of a slide, starting to hurt those rears. Saving a little bit, saving that second set of tires will allow you to utilize it towards the end of the race, gain 0.5 of a second, and move yourself forward. That's where it's all going to be key. So, bit of a shout out to Janneman, I Love Toyota Hybrid Press. Big thank you to him. And he might not, he's not in the comm box, but he is in our hearts and on our screens. But taking a look through the grid, Tariq Adam in first place has got Cody Sherritt trying to close down the gap now to a 1 second. Ryan Ottens in third. Daniel Dematros Petro, followed by Giovanni Prizzo. Hang on. Got to get it right. Porzio. Giovanni Porzio. Going and getting out. So I have to get it right. Giovanni Porzio in fifth place. Sanjan Pillay in 6th. 7th is Brandon Kruger, followed by Jason McGregor, Gideon Reina, and Ronaldo Boersma in 10th place. At the moment, that is our top 10 so far. None of our top 10 have pitted, but Jason Absmeyer has pitted. He's down in 21st. He stopped in the box for 5.1 seconds. 5.1, that means he's just put in roughly about 1.5 to 2 liters of fuel. Now, for you guys at home to do a little bit of math working out, because I wasn't the greatest at math, I will admit that. But you guys can work out on a calculator. So, Jason Absmeyer took 32 seconds in the pits from start to stop in the box to leave. It took him 32 seconds. Right. Whole pit lane, 32 seconds. Keep that in mind moving forward. Now, when you start putting tires on, you're going to extend that. You're going to start running 30 seconds or 35 to about roughly about 40 seconds, if working out, 35 to 40 seconds. So, let's see if I can get a couple of guys. I see Annie going and saying, can I get your name right? If I say Rick Shin, am I saying it? Rickshin? Annie Rickshin. In the crowd, so hoping I'm getting that right. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Grid Championship Season 2. As we keep an eye on the battle of Gideon Reina, Jason McGregor going into battle once again. It does look like Gideon Reina starting to get a little bit more of a run onto Jason McGregor. Loses out through the middle part of the sectors. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting because it depends on the setup of the car, how you've set the car up to work with you. Now, some drivers going for more of a, more of an open setup to try flatten out the wing, allow you to go have a little bit more of a run. Others going for a choice of to open it up a little bit more, try to get a little bit more of acceleration. And others going for cornering. So I wonder what is the strategies going to be for every single one of these drivers as they make their way around the circuit. It is going to be a challenge. And as you can see, the Porsche is definitely taking a big hit. Lots of sliding on the rear tires. And as that builds up, the guys are starting to run more and more into trouble. So there's going to have to be a point where the guys have got to be so cautious on to that battle. We'll have to see how it works our way through. It does look like Gideon Reina does close up on the gap, but just losing out right at the last. and not able to get the same run as what he would like. So as our drivers move their way forward, Gideon Rayner getting into the toe, Jason McGregor trying to make a little bit more of a challenging run up against him into the toe, heading into turn 1. Going to go a little bit late on the brakes. Can he make it stick, though? Not just losing it out. He just doesn't seem to have the same braking point. And that's losing out a fair amount of time. So he's got to be so cautious with doing things like that as he makes his way around the circuit. So let's take a look at our corners in through turn 4. They're going to have to keep on to the power. Gideon Rayner chasing down Jason McGregor. This is one of our closest battles for the top 10. And it does look like Jason McGregor a little bit more settled. Gets a little bit of a step out. And that's allowed Gideon Rayner to get right into the toe. Looks to the inside. Couldn't make it stick though. Just not getting the throttle down hard enough on the exit of the corners. And he seems to be losing out through the middle part of the track. And that's where you've got to be so careful not to go and break out and start getting drive-through penalties. Because a lot of people tend to push the boundaries, they tend to run over the curbs, and that's where we start seeing drive-through penalties. Last night, we saw a lot of it. But let's head back up to the top, and we see the likes of Tariq Adam feeling the pressure from Cody Sherritt. Cody Sherritt now into the toe, pulling himself along, hoping that he can get a little bit more of a run. And Tariq Adam taking a look in his rearview mirrors, understanding the problem at hand, that his teammates starting to close down the gap as they look to get past him on the back markers. And let's see who that is. That is Cameron De Bastos coming by. So Cameron De Bastos moving out the way on the straight line. And big shout out to Cameron. And yes, I got your name right. One of his comments was, well, just go and hit him with a wet fish. He's going to change his name. So there you go, Cameron. Got it right. Jason McGregor feeling the pressure from Gideon Rayner. This is a battle for 8th and 9th at the moment. It does look like Epsom is still leading out for the guys that have pitted first of all. Then we have got Grant Sebastian. SESA is also in a battle trying to get a little bit closer. But the closest battle on circuit has to be these two Porsches. Now what's going to be sitting through the minds is how much have they gone and pushed themselves forward? How much have they going to really get themselves moving on? I don't know. It's going to be a very difficult run for them, and I think they're starting to hurt their tires more and more as time goes on. So Tariq Adam in first, Cody Sherritt in second, Ryan Ottens in third, Daniel Dematros Petro in fourth, Giovanni Porzero in fifth place, Sanjan Pillay, Brandon Kruger, Jason McGregor, Gideon Rayner, Ronaldo Busma starting to close down on them. So don't count Ronaldo out just as yet. He's in that top 10 looking for a fight. Bernard Barkhuizen trying to get a little bit closer. Grant Sebastian feeling the pressure. Essie trying to go up on the inside as Grant goes off circuit. And that's allowed him to get by. And Grant Sebastian going and losing out a run. And looks like Jonas Freyling trying to get involved into that battle as he's trying to pull himself into the toe. Jonas trying everything he can, goes late onto the brakes, just not able to get it. Grant Sebastian going very defensive, holding that inside line. And after losing out to Essie, he does not want to lose any more position. So he's going to immediately get back onto the toe for that 12th spot. He's currently lying in 13th, and it's going to be a battle down to the wire for them as they really get into the toe, trying to pull themselves along hard onto the brakes. Grant tried going for the inside line, looking for the cutback, wasn't able to. Trailing managed to get a little bit closer. So Johannes just hoping that he can get into the toe. Seems a little bit more locked up into turn 1, turn 2, out of turn 3, getting close to the back of the Ferrari. SESA's starting to open up a slight gap, losing out under braking. Grant Sebastian having to go avoidance. He runs out a bit wide. Jonas runs out a bit wide, getting back into the toe. Jonas trying everything he can, looks to the inside line, immediately gets closed off. Grant Sebastian feeling the pressure now, having to try and figure out what's going to be the best benefit for him. Head to head, though, it is all or nothing between these two, as it's 12th and 13th on the line, but it's also looking who will get the advantage come the pits. And once again, how much damage is being done to those tires as they make their way around the circuit? How much wear and tear are those tires starting to take as they move around the circuit, it is going to be one to consider for every single one of these drivers. Kitty and Rayner trying to get a little bit closer to Jason McGregor as they make their way around the circuit. It is going to be a monstrous. And, yeah, just getting a little bit of a chat with the likes of Tebo Moloto and all the cronies going and having a bit of fun out there. Good to see the guys having a bit of fun. As they make their way through. And I've got to say, I got caught out properly. Well done. Really well done. And that was, for anyone that missed it, was early on in the race for the Mettlestate Grid Championship. Trying to get surnames right. And I ran into it hook, line, and sinker when getting one of the names, which is actually correction. And I managed to get it completely wrong, or think of it in a different way. So, well done, guys. You caught me out. As we carry our way through, drivers still keeping up a monstrous battle. Grant Sebastian keeping ahead of Jonas Kraling. Kraling really trying to get into the toe and pull himself along. Tim, the cameraman, just getting a little bit out of focus. But take a look in 14th place. Alan Patterson starting to close down on these two as well. So while Grant Sebastian and Jonas Kraling have been battling it out, they've also been feeling a little pressure from behind. So let's see how that's going to make it work, because Alan Patterson's starting to get a little bit closer every single time. As our drivers make their way through the field, Jason Abschmeyer, he's into 20th place. He's got one pit stop done and dusted. He's getting chased down by Bashir Jadwat. So it's good to see Jadwat back out onto the circuit as well. Part of the former WRT racing team, which was White Rabbit Gaming. It's going to be a very, very difficult race. So I wonder, as the guys make their way around the circuit, seeing Cody Sherritt closing down on Tariq Adam, guys are starting to drop a wheel here, there, and everywhere onto the dirt. So does that mean we're going to start seeing mistakes coming in and drive through penalties, and stop-go penalties will still come into play? Well, it is definitely going to make things a little bit of a run for everyone as they make their way around the circuit. So let's see how it's all going to turn out. But our front guys are going to be very concerned with that, because they are running the limits. Likes of Tariq Adam, Cody Sherritt, Ryan Ottens, Daniel Dematros, Petro, Giovanni Porzio. Porzio. There we go. I'll get it right. Porzio. Giovanni Porzio. Going and having a great time. Along with Sanjan Pillay. They're all running slightly off course. Going and putting the wheel off in the dirt. And they will be getting warnings. Going and saying, listen, we've got a problem here. Best watch out. You're going to get track limit warnings. They're going to come into effect. That's going to be sitting in the back of the drivers' minds of what is going to be the way to move forward. How the guys are going to climb their way up the ranks. And drive-thrus are going to lay into massive, massive strategies because of how it's all going to work. Instead of doing pit stops, you'll end up doing 3. You'll end up with a stop-go 30-second. If you go on the button, get off the pit limiter too early, which we have seen the pit lane being very challenging with that, because as you come out the box, the line is a little bit further than where you think it is from the usual pit wall. So the guys are going to have to try and figure out what's going to work for them and how they're going to get past it. A couple of drivers tend to go and bump into second gear, which automatically turns off the pit limiter, which means you score a penalty. So the guys are going to be so careful with that and not to land up with a problem. These two, on the other hand, two teammates, Cody Sherritt to Tariq Adam, going and battling out. Different parts of the Genesis Esports team. Tariq Adam is part of the Genesis Esports blue team, and Cody Sherritt's part of the Genesis Esports red team. They're going and having a great run out there, but got to remember that they are fighting for not only a team championship, but a driver championship. Cody Sherritt had a problem with a disconnect in the last race. He's looking to redeem himself this race. And with Tariq Adam just ahead of him, he's looking to try and make a little bit of an impact as they catch up to one of the back markers. And it does look like Tariq Adam's having a bit of a struggle. Cody Sherritt, though, not going on the attack. He's waiting. And just allowing to put enough pressure onto the rest of the drivers, or onto Tariq Adam, to go and force his tyres to start dropping off. So, are we seeing a strategy that's in benefit of the team, or are we starting to see a strategy that's going to play into a little bit more of a difficult one, where your teammate is starting to push you in the wrong direction? You're starting to push yourself more, push the tires more, and you land up getting a world of hurt. So that's one thing they've got to be so aware of as teammates, is not to go and mess the other person's race up. Or on the other side of the note, let's go and see some Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton action, where it was all or nothing, door-to-door racing. It was just, it doesn't matter what badge you got on. It is a checkered flag right at the end. And that's the one thing we've got to be really cognizant of. As Giovanni going right up against the likes of Daniel Petro. Now, I said keep an eye on Daniel due to last night's race. He ran it right to the line, ran some good lap times. At the moment, he's been stabilizing at 144s as his best lap time. So far, Cody Sherritt actually bumping up into first place. So Tariq Adam losing out and going and getting past. So let's go back a couple of seconds and watch it. Tim, the cameraman, getting lost again. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. So, Cody Sherritt trying to make his way through. He's got Tariq Adam around him, and I think this is where they did a little bit of a switcheroo. Tariq Adam opening the door, Cody Sherritt diving up on the brakes and just muscling his way past. Tariq Adam didn't put too much of a fight, but it doesn't look like Cody Sherritt had the easiest of runs into the corner. And I think the teammates getting a little bit more boisterous with one another. Let's go a little bit further down. Bashir Jadwat chasing down Guillaume Mouton. Guillaume going and having a bit of fun. He's in 20th place trying to chase down Jason Abschmeyer just ahead of him. Bashir Jadwat just behind. Now remember, Jason Abschmeyer has completed his first pit stop, and so has Bashir Jadwat, who is a little bit further down. He's in 21st, so he's going to try and get past the likes of Mouton, which is not going to be an easy thing. They are fighting for position, so it's got to be very, very close between them. And Bashir, getting a little bit more of a drive, is going to pull himself along and try get a little bit more of a tow. And let's see, is it going to be enough into turn one? Not having the straight line by the looks of it. I think he's running slightly more aero. Tries to look for the inside, but too far. So I think running slightly more aero has cost him. Giovanni feeling the pressure as he's going after the likes of Daniel just ahead of him. Daniel making sure that he can get a little bit more of a drive as they battle their way through. Daniel hoping that Giovanni will lose a bit of drive as they make their way around the circuit. And this is where the guys are going to be so careful. We're starting to get into that little bit of a slum period. 47 minutes to go. Expecting 44 minutes left of the race is going to be roughly where you want to stop. You want to go the halfway mark, which, as we heard from Yellowman Press, that is where he wants to go. So let's see how it's going to work, if a couple of other drivers are going to utilize that. But Daniel Petro feeling the pressure. He has got Giovanni all over the back of him. Giovanni trying to get into the toe, pull himself along. Is he going to go late on the brakes on the inside? Nope. Opting, he's going to plant it firmly behind, get into the toe, and try and pull himself along. Daniel Petro, though, getting a much better drive. Ooh, gets a little bit of a slide and losing out a little bit of time. The track is starting to cool down. We're down to 19 degrees out on circuit, air temperature and track temperature. It is a bit more rubbered in, but now tire pressures are starting to come into play. As we know with the latest update to Assetto Corsa Competizione, and especially right before this race, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean right before. I'm talking about an hour before this race was meant to go live. There was a patch that went and got put out to help with tire pressures and also to help BOP cars a little bit. Mainly the Ferraris taking a hit from it. And, well, a couple of the guys now starting to feel it because the Ferraris, what their original plan was, had to be changed. And this is what I think these two drivers are starting to feel, that situation where the tires are starting to drop off. Bernard Barkhuizen, though, into the dirt, and we just caught that one right at the last minute. So they're back 30 seconds, though, and see what happened to the KSR driver. Making his way around the circuit, trying to go a little bit later onto the brakes. The Aston Martin, a little bit twitchy on the nose. He's dropping way down the order, and, oh, that, my friends, I think that's a mechanical failure. That is a severe mechanical failure for the likes of Barkhuizen, one of our top runners, going and having a mechanical failure, and that unfortunately has killed off his race. So now this is going to turn into a bit of a thing. Can he get back into the server? Can he get it sorted out and get back in to try and get a couple of points? I mean, this is where things are. Daniel Petro, though, has got a problem. Giovanni's right behind him. Sanjan Pillay has also decided it's my time in the Hybrid Academy Ferrari, looking to go on the charge as well. So 3 horses now looking to do battle. They are jousting for position, ladies and gentlemen. These monstrous Ferraris hoping to get a little bit more of a run. And it does look like Giovanni getting a little bit of a run on Daniel Petro. Sanjan Pillay also getting pulled along. But they seem to be closing up onto one of the back markers. That's one of the Hybrid Academy cars that's just ahead of him. That's interesting now because it benefits Sanjan Pillay having one of his teammates just slightly ahead. Maybe, just maybe, can back him up ever so slightly to allow Giovanni to get a little bit closer and start interfering with Daniel Petro. And you could see onto the brakes, the Hybrid Academy car going and holding the brakes a little bit longer than planned. And just trying to keep the car a little bit more tucked in. I'm trying to see who that may be just as they come shooting by. And, oh, Daniel getting all types of out of shape. And Sanjan Pillay as well, all out of shape. He's dropping down the order. There's the blue flag being waved. Giovanni now into tow. Daniel locking down that inside line, but he is on the marbles and caught behind the back marker. Under braking into turn 1. It is still side by side, but, oh, Daniel just eking ahead. Giovanni tried his luck. Sanjan Pillay from a long way back also tried getting back into the tow and pulling himself through. So that has turned into a monstrous fight. This is a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th position at current. All of them within 0.5 of a second of one another. And it does look like Daniel just keeping ahead. Giovanni tries to look for the inside. Has got Sanjan Pillay trying to go around the outside. Sanjan hoping that he can get a little bit more of a drive. He's actually pulling his teammates along, which isn't a bad thing at all as they try and make their way through. Taking a look, though, Cody Sherrod still leading out the field, so he hasn't come into the pits. But Gideon Rayner is first of the guys that have gone into the pits. He's dying in 16th place, has only been in for 5.2, so he's just gone for fuel. And, well, interesting stuff as the drivers make their way through. Giovanni feeling the pressure from behind and just ahead, stuck in the middle of the train and does not want to be there at the moment. He wants to try and get out from beneath these two and get a little bit more of a drive underneath him. And let's see how it's going to work out here at round number 2 here at Barcelona for the ACC Grid Championship, brought to you by Mettlestate and RaceFace. Big thank you to everyone joining us. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button along with the follow and the bell notification icon. Head over to twitch.tv/Mettlestate along with RaceFace.Pro out on YouTube. But take a look. Jason McGregor in and out the pits. Ryan Otten's into the pits. So a couple of guys have a bit of a change-up. Cody Sherrod in first place. Tariq Adam, Daniel Petro into third place. Followed by Giovanni Porzio. Trying to make up Porzio. Giovanni Porzio. I will get it right. I'm determined. These surnames that I have to get right. Sunjin Pillay in 5th place. Brandon Kruger in 6th. SES Hayes in 7th. 8th place is Johannes Hailing, followed by Grant Sebastian, who is caught right up into the toe. This is for the top 10, so Grant Sebastian is in 10th place. Now actually moving up, so it looks like Ryan Otten's dropping way down the order as he's in the pits along with Ronaldo Boersma. Alan Patterson up into 10th place. So the guys starting to run into it, and yellow flags are being waved. And that is for Ryan Otten's exiting the pit. So we just take a quick look down the field and see where it is. At the moment, first of all, the guys who have done the pit stops is this man here. Gideon Rayner in 13th place. Has got one more pit stop to go, and he's on an almighty charge. So let's see how it's going to work out. Back up, though, Daniel Dematros-Petro and Giovanni, 3rd and 4th place in tow, trying to pull themselves along. Does look like Daniel managing to keep ahead of Giovanni. Giovanni does look for the inside, not able to make it stick. Gets back into the tow, trying to pull himself along and losing out that little bit of ground and hoping to get a little bit more of a tow along as they make their way through. Sunjin Pillay into the pits, Brandon Kruger into the pits and slamming on the anchors right at the last minute. They have to slow down to 50 kilometers an hour in the pits, and guys, that is no joke. They're coming out of the final corner at close to 110 kilometers an hour. They have to climb onto the anchors and slow it down to 50. Now, you're talking about monster brakes to do it, but you also got to make sure not to lock it up to hurt your tires. And that is going to come into effect for a lot of these drivers. So, 39 minutes of the race left to go. Pit stops being made, and guys are starting to shuffle around the positions. Cody Sherritt, Tim the cameraman, doing what Tim the cameraman does best, is out in 1st place. Tariq Adam in 2nd. Daniel Dematros-Petro in 3rd, but feeling Giovanni right behind him in 4th place. SES Hayes in 5th. 6th, Johannes Hailing. Dean Kabasa. Darren Miller in 8th. 9th place, Gideon Rayner. And Bashir Jadwat in 10th. Gurmuton, Bago Krobler, Ryan Ottens, Kurt Glasshagen. I'm getting there. So Kurt Glasshagen in 14th. 15th, Morgan McCall. Alan Patterson up into 16th position. He came out of the pits. Bernard King in 17th. Sunjin Pillay in 18th. 19th, Brandon Kruger. Johan van der Merwe. Grant Sebastian in 21st. 22nd, Ronaldo Boersma. Daniel Rowe down in 23rd position. Jason McGregor down in 24th. Nicholas Manuel in 25th. 26th, Johan Kleinans. Jason Absmeyer in 27th. 28th, Henry Mayer. Jared Neville in 29th. 30th, Ramona Yonka, followed by Janneman Price in 31st. Christian Deploy. So the team heaped together drivers all completing their pit stops. Jason McGregor actually first of all the drivers that completed all their pit stops. Hoping to get a little bit more of an early run. Andre Soradio of the Project Vapor in 33rd, along with 34th Cameron DeBastos, followed by Justin Lotus. So Cameron DeBastos having a bit of fun out a little bit further down the field, but is hoping to climb up. Morgan McCall, though, onto the back of Kurt Glasshagen and really getting into the toe, trying to pull himself along. Morgan not backing down just as yet and hoping that he can get a little bit more of a charge as they make their way through, turning into a monstrous battle between them. Hard on the brakes, but Kurt just managing to keep it all together. So, first of all the guys have done, first of the pit stops, has to go to Gideon Rayner, who has managed to move himself up. He is climbing that ladder and going to be putting himself into 7th place. Moment on our timing ladder, still trying to update. He's still in 8th. There he is. So up into 7th place on the timing ladder and hoping to get a little bit more of a run out on Mettlestate, in the grid of Mettlestate. We've got different stadiums or different grandstands. We've got the Mettlestate grandstand, which is close towards the start-finish line. And just taking a look over to it, we do have a little bit of a party going on, a cat party, a cat jam out on the Mettlestate Stadium, or on the grandstands. So good to see that the guys are having a bit of fun there. And out towards the likes of the RaceFace as well. The guys putting in a huge amount of work. And just taking a look, I know a couple of guys are having liveries not showing, and I do apologize for that. And if you are having a problem with your livery, please submit it to me, send it directly to me. I'll do my darndest to try and correct it. The latest update seems to have done something weird. All right, well, taking a look, 22nd place as we take actually it's down into 23rd. Kriamoton, actually, that's he's down into 25th place. Got a stop-go 30-second penalty. That's for coming out the pits and landing up with a problem. So he's got a 30-second penalty, losing out a bit of time there. So we'll have to see how it goes. Perfect stuff. Mr. Fento going and putting in, sorted out over the weekend. Please do. I would love to get it, and we need to make sure. Need to make sure for the Evolved Racing team. You guys have been having a good run there. Cody Sherritt into the pits. That's going to free up for Tariq Adam. Tariq Adam now trying to get a little bit more of a run as they get past the Mettlestate grandstand on the left-hand side here at Barcelona. So Cody Sherritt now diving into the pits, releasing his teammate to go and catch up. We got Giovanni, who's going to be also into the pits. He's hard onto the brakes and getting it in himself sorted out. SESAs, is he going to come into the pits as well? He's making it through the final two corners. He's currently in 4th place and looking to climb the ladder at the moment. Couple of cars all peeling in. 34 minutes left of the race. And this is where it's going to get interesting. Tariq Adam, 2 pit stops needed. Cody Sherritt, 1 pit stop needed. SESAs, 2 pit stops needed. And he's moved himself up into 2nd place as our timing ladder a little bit slow to go and updates itself. Cody Sherritt still in the pits. He's going to be losing out. Dean Kabasa coming across the line. He's going to be in 3rd place. There's also got 2 pit stops needed. Johannes Kraling, he's into the pits, so he's got no pit stops to worry about. Cody Sherritt coming out of the pits. He's going to be exiting in 4th place. So Cody Sherritt getting out of the pits, no penalties, and just keeping ahead of Ryan Ottens and Kurt Glashagen trying to chase him down as well. So let's see how this goes. Ryan Ottens seeing Cody Sherritt just ahead of him. Cody Sherritt, though, let's go into now the technicalities for everyone, because we all love the technicalities. What's going to work out? What's going to be the strategy? Let's head into the strategies. So Cody Sherritt, 32.8 seconds stopped in the box. That means change of 4 tires and fuel. So that has got him with a new set of tires to push, hoping to break out of those 144, 145 lap times. Ryan Ottens, fastest lap time of the race, been running his consistent times, doing a 143. His pit stop also was tires. 32.3 seconds stopped in the box. So fresh rubber on Cody, fresh rubber on Ryan Ottens. Kurt Glashagen in 6th place, 8.9 seconds in the box. That's just fuel. Daniel Dematros Petro, 32 seconds in the box. That tells me he's had a bit of time to go and put some tires on. So couple of guys still landing up with some amazing things. Tariq Adam into the box. Dean Kabasa coming by. Dean Kabasa in 2nd place at the moment. Now, shout out to Dean Kabasa. Pulled a strategy that sort of worked for him last night. And I'm going to put this out to you guys out at the Mettlestate Grandstand, which you guys are out there on twitch.tv/Mettlestate. Make sure you follow, subscribe, hit the button. You don't want to miss it. So big shout out to the Mettlestate Grandstand for you guys that aren't too aware of what happened. Dean Kabasa currently lying in 1st place. He's got 2 pit stops to go. They got mandatory 2 pit stops in this race. They've got 2 sets of tires for the entire weekend, which means for their qualifying in the racing, they've got to go and balance out their tires, not to go and hurt them, put them through too many heat cycles. Dean Kabasa only pitted right towards the last 10 minutes of the race last night. Finished up in 9th place. Will he be able to do that again, utilizing the same strategy? Well, we're about to find out. Cody Sherritt in 2nd place has got fresh rubber on him. He's ahead of his teammate Tariq Adam, who's in 3rd. Ryan Ottens chasing him down, all needing to do 1 more pit stop. Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, and Ryan Ottens still with fresh rubber on their cars, recent fresh rubber, except for Ryan Ottens. Ryan Ottens has done his pit stop a little bit earlier. SES, he's in a bit of a battle with Daniel Petro. A little bit of contact between the two, as it looks like they're getting in between the back markers, and that looks to be Jan Press, who's a bit sandwiched as well, pulling himself around. Daniel trying to go around the outside of Essie trying to defend that inside line. Daniel going around the outside, a little bit of a push towards dirt, but still managing to keep it. So absolutely phenomenal stuff between these guys, but now closing it up on the rest, and Giovanni now getting into the fight, and it does look like Jan Press getting a little bit closer. That actually, no, that's Jan Press. That's Christian Deploy. I do apologize. Christian Deploy getting closer to Romano Jonker and utilizing the battle ahead of him. Dean Cabasa now into the pits, so he drops himself down, but let's head back up. Daniel Petro into the pits, and that's going to release Giovanni up and get a little bit of a run. So Cody Sherritt back into first place. Tariq Adam now in second place. Ryan Ottens in third place. And our timing tower a little bit slow to catch up, and I do apologize for that. We got a special from Ben. Jim told me about Ben. We got a special on the timing tower. But it's good to see the guys having a bit of fun out on RaceFace.Pro, out on the grandstands, and also to the Mettlestate grandstands. Giovanni right up onto the back of Essie trying to go and do a little bit of defending at the moment. Both of them have done one pit stop, 29 minutes left of the race to go. These Ferraris starting to hurt. Giovanni with fresh set of rubber, he was stopped in box for 32 seconds, so he has at the moment got the advantage in terms of grip, beating the likes of Essie. Essie, on the other hand, is on the same set of tires that he started with and is going to have to try and keep it all together. How that's going to work out, we'll have to see as time builds on. Sanjan Pillay a little bit further behind. He's got a bit of pressure from Brandon Kruger. Brandon Kruger from the KSR factory team going after the Hybrid Academy piston driver as they make their way around the circuit. Essie slowly but surely starting to cave in and getting a little bit of a bump and barge, but you can see Christian Deploy right onto the back of them, not wanting to get involved in the fight, but having to brake really, really hard. And this is where you start sitting, because Giovanni's last lap time was a 1:44.6. Essie came out of the pits, was a 2:22. Let's see what his last time lap was. 1:46. Giovanni 1:45.9. So Giovanni is definitely faster. And take a look at Christian Deploy. He's trying to figure out how to get past Brandon Kruger and Sanjan Pillay in the background looking to get involved. Brandon Kruger trying to go around the outside. Sanjan giving him a little bit of a love tap and saying, listen, let's keep it all together. And amazingly they do. Absolutely phenomenal. But this is where the race starts to get a little bit more challenging for the grid drivers, as we have got 35 cars currently out on the circuit. 39 cars started. A couple of disconnects, unfortunately, has happened. But it's still a monstrous field. You're all trying to race for position, such as Christian Deploy. He is in a bit of a fight at the moment and trying to keep it all together, as he's got Romano Jonker right behind him. Romano not giving any leeway at the moment. So Christian Deploy, who's trying to get a little bit more of a drive, is stuck behind Giovanni and the likes of SESAs, but he does not want to get involved into the fight as well. So how this is going to turn out is either very beneficial for him in terms of getting himself pulled along, but at the same time, it's starting to hamper his lap times as these two are battling it out. Giovanni trying to go up on the inside, a little bit of a love tap to the likes of Essie. Essie dropping back behind Christian Deploy and also getting side by side with Romano. Romano coming by. Brandon Kruger. Oh, contact between the two. And Romano, unfortunately, is the bit of a loser on that one. And Christian Deploy going to be looking in his mirror saying, well, thank you very much. Essie pulling into the pits. He's going to get himself sorted. Giovanni, though, now free to start running. So let's take a look. Fresh rubber out to the front. Cody Sherritt for the Genesis Esports team, followed by Tariq Adam of the Genesis Esports team. In second place, Ryan Ottens of Hybrid Academy. Blitz getting chased down by Giovanni. Christian Deploy just in the background. He is a blue flag at the moment, so don't worry about him. Giovanni in fourth. Brandon Kruger in fifth. Sanjin Pillay in 6th. Jonas Grayling in 7th, along with Grant Sebastian. And we have got SESAs still in the pits. He is dropping down the order. He's going to be moving down into 10th place and will be out. Can he keep ahead of the likes of Badwatt? That's going to be a very interesting one to see. As let's see where he's starting to come out. And it looks like he manages just to keep ahead of Badwatt. Nope, never mind. Badwatt getting past. So Badwatt now up into the top 10 and has completed all these pit stops and focusing on the charge. Cody Sherritt, though, feeling the pressure from his teammate, still keeping the momentum. Tariq Adam keeping up the pressure. Ryan Ottens chasing him down, seeing both in sight, not going to let them go. Giovanni a little bit further back, and I mean, he is 20.5 seconds back of third place Ryan Ottens. Ryan Ottens 3.1 seconds behind Tariq Adam, and Tariq Adam 1.3 seconds behind Cody Sherritt, all needing to still pit. And they are the remaining cars to still pit. So from 1st to 9th is cars still needing to pit. So Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, Ryan Ottens, along with Giovanni Porzio. I'm getting that right. Brandon Kruger, Sanjin Pillay, Jonas Grayling, Grant Sebastian, Dean Kabasa, all needing to pit. Bashir Jadwat down in 10th position, starting to catch up to Dean Kabasa and has an opportunity to get by. He has net first, I would say he's about 13 seconds behind. I think Badwatt has a chance to get into the top 8 at this point, but my math can be wrong, and I'm sure a couple of drivers are hoping that's very, very wrong. A little bit further down, SESA is battling out with Bego Krobler. A little bit further up ahead of them is Henry Mayer and Gideon Rayner doing battle with one another. I see Darren Miller also needing to pit. He's dropping down the order. I think actually Miller has come into the pits and is going to be serving his pit stop. So a couple of guys still out there needing to do their pit stops and how it's all going to work. Henry Mayer, though, putting on the charge and trying to climb up. He's in 13th position, going after Gideon Renner in 12th position. So Henry hoping that he can just get a little bit more of a run. The Porsche just trying to get a little bit ahead, going and sporting that RB19 on the car in support of, I have to point it out to Max Verstappen, bringing out the inner lion to go and charge out to the front. And it doesn't seem to be working at this very moment to get away from Henry Mayer, because Henry is right onto the back of him of the team Tryhard Racing in tow and trying to pull himself a little bit closer. So let's see how it works. Back up at the front, though, we've got Bashir Jadwat going after Dean Kabasa, trying to get into the tow. Dean Kabasa doing everything he can to just make it or break it as they put the power down. And right behind them, they've got Jason Abschmeyer of the Evolved Racing team right behind them and getting in tow. Now, I have made a promise we will get that livery up and going, much like many of the other liveries that need to be showing on the car. So I do apologize for that. With 22 minutes to go of the race, it is still absolutely game time for a lot of these cars and see how they're going to make their way around the field. So, Bashir Jadwat still very close. Dean Kabasa just keeping ahead in these two brand spanking new Ferrari GT3s that have been absolutely dominant at the moment. Really going and taking it all by storm. And I've got to say, I'm not a big fan of the new look of the 296 GT3 Ferrari, but I can appreciate of how much hard work has gone into these cars. The guys have really designed something that is from the ground up a new build over their 488 Ferrari, their 458 Italia. They've trying something new, and bringing it into ACC has really worked. Going and giving a little bit of insight onto these cars since we got them out on circuit. Dean Kabasa, Bashir Jadwat, both in the same Ferrari. They're not... Now, these are the return of the 6-cylinder engines. Now, Originally, we had the V8s going and having a bit of fun. The 296s dropping down to the V6 combination, or the V6 engine, to try and make it work, going and increasing power to weight performance. They're hoping that the reliability will be a little bit better and that they can move forward. So a little bit of work done to the new Ferraris. Glad to see them out. But we also got to talk about what Jason Abschmeyer is in, as I see Grad Sebastian pulling into the pits. So that is the new Porsche 992, if I remember correctly, going and making its debut run here. And this is its first season of running and having a great bit of fun. And I've got to say, bit of a looker car. Guys have really put in a huge amount of work into it to go and build it up, make something that is just a new spec to everything that we know and how to get a little bit more of a run. So Porsche trying something new with their development. Unfortunately, having some early on issues with braking, and that has put them that they don't have ABS in the car. And they're hoping that they can just get a little bit more fixed out. We've got a little bit of a chat about it, where it turned into the guys running into a problem and getting it all sorted out right before the new IMSA season, or the new endurances, and hoping that will get them a little bit more of a further run. So, a little bit of spec talk about the cars that are currently out on circuit for you guys to go and take a look at. Taking a look at the field, though, Cody Sherritt in first place, Tariq Adam in second place, 1.5 seconds behind Cody Sherritt, 3.8 seconds behind Ryan Ottens. In third place, Giovanni Porzio in fourth place, along with fifth, Brandon Kruger, Sanjan Pillay, Jonas Kraling, Bashir Jadwat in eighth place, has completed all his pit stops. Now this is where it starts also getting very interesting. Jadwat's starting to close down the gap. He's 21 seconds behind Jonas Kraling at the moment. But remember, it does take roughly about 30 seconds, heading into 32, 35 seconds to do your in and out pit stop. Bashir Jadwat is on fresh rubber. He's been out for some time. He's completed all his pit stops. So those tires have been on for quite some time, and they have to try and make up a bit of ground. With the likes of Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, Ryan Ottens, Giovanni, Brandon Kruger, Sanjan Pillay, Jonas Kraling, all still needing to do their mandatory pit stops. 17 minutes and 54 seconds left of the race. Only 16 minutes left of the pit window to do your pit stop. Now, to count as a pit stop, for anyone that doesn't know, in terms of the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione, you have to stop in the box and put at least 1 litre, yes, you heard me right, 1 litre of fuel into the car. That will count as a pit stop. So you can do a splash and dash and get out of there. Now, for the drivers like Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, Ryan Ottens, Giovanni, Brandon Kruger, Sanjan Pillay, and Jonas Kraling, Jonas actually pulling into the pit, so he's going to be dropping down, as here comes Badwat, going to be taking that 7th position. He's getting chased down by Jason Abschmeyer. The two drivers, very, very well known with one another. They know each other all too well. And being former teammates, they're looking to go and make their way through. So Kraling now falling down the order, is going to have to battle his way through. Let's see where he's going to come out, though. He's stopped for a fair amount of time. And that's going to give us a bit of an idea, as he's out and looks to be about 13th position. So Jonas Kraling dropping out of that top 10. Now, where is it going to put our likes of Cody Sherritt and Tariq Adam? They're coming past the pit lane. They're not going into the pits. Both of them are stretching it out, looking for that splash and dash. Ryan Ottens following suit as well. Giovanni in 4th place. Is he going to go for a pit stop, or is Brandon Kruger going to follow suit? Sanjan Pillay also feeling a little bit of pressure. Time starting to drop off, though. Guys sitting in mid 144, high 144s. So the guys are starting to feel a little bit of a pace drop. Bashir, 144.4 is his last lap time. But I do want to point out Cody Sherritt, though.
did the best time of a 1:43.3 in the race. Last lap time was a 1:43.9, which is quicker than Tariq Adam doing a 1:44.0 and trying to get a little bit more of a run. Ryan Otten's slightly slower on the last lap than Tariq Adam, 1:44.2. Giovanni, 1:44.9. Brandon Kruger actually a little bit faster than him, doing a 1:44.8 as they battle their way through. Sanjan Pillay, 1:44.5, so is actually closing down that gap, and he is into that 6th position. Bashir Jadwat in 7th, trying to make a little bit of a drop, but let's actually drop a little bit further down. We've given a lot of love to the top end of the field as we keep an eye on them. Grant Sebastian, Alan Patterson, Kurt Glasshagen, Ronaldo Boersma, and Bernard King all in a tow with one another. And it does look like Grant Sebastian just keeping ahead. Alan Patterson trying to close it down on braking. Kurt Glasshagen trying to get a little bit closer under braking. Ronaldo Boersma feeling the pressure from Bernard King as they get into a bit of a battle as they pull themselves along. Three-way fight. It does look like Alan Patterson just trying to get a little bit of a tow, pulling himself around, and Kurt trying to get a little bit more of a jump, lunging into turn 1, not able to make it stick as they make their way through. And Ronaldo Boersma and the likes of Bernard King going into the fight, and it has also allowed the likes of them to catch up to Kurt Glasshagen, 1.8 seconds. Alan Patterson trying to catch up to Grant Sebastian. So Kurt on the back of this train trying to make up a bit of time as they fight their way through. So turning into a bit of a battle at the back end of the field. But all in all, they are still fighting for the championship, much like everyone in first place. Side-by-side action. Alan Patterson trying to go up on the inside. Grant Sebastian pushed out wide. Has to tuck back into the toe. Gets really tucked up behind Alan Patterson. Now trying to look on to the inside. Alan Patterson locking down that inside line. Kurt trying to do everything he can to join into the battle as they get pulled along onto the back straight. And it does look like Kurt's going to go for the inside line, trying to make it 3 wide. Backs out of it, though. Second guesses it. Grant Sebastian loses out, gets a little bit squirrely under braking, and that has allowed Kurt to get by. Kurt going to be very, very happy with it as now he can focus his efforts onto Alan Patterson. A little bit further back, Grant Sebastian now feeling the pressure of Ronaldo Boersma and Bernard King chasing on to the back of him. The two Porsches now giving the Ferrari a run for its money. It's a flat 6 versus V6 out at the back for likes of 19th, 20th, and 21st. As it does look like Bernard King trying to go up on the inside. Oh, Ronaldo Boersma going and dropping wheel off onto the dirt and costing him a fair chunk of time as they make their way through. Drag racing down into turn 1. Bernard King doing everything he can just to try and get a little bit more of a run. Does look like he is a little bit late onto the brakes. Side by side between the two. And Boersma not backing out just as yet. He's going to keep it all together and try and make it work. So Bernard King having to drop a little bit further down. So some major racing towards the back. Heading back up to the front end of the field. There is Cody Sherritt, who is trying to claw his way through. We saw the battle a little bit behind. That's allowed Tariq Adam to close down onto him. And Tariq just keeping a monitoring at this point as the drivers are going to have to try and sort themselves out. There is a rule that you're not allowed fighting the guys ahead of you. While fighting the blue flags and the back markers are not meant to fight for position. But they have no reason to jump out the way and say, here's the door, let me roll out the carpet for you. And that can be a crippling factor for the likes of Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, and Ryan Ottens. Ryan Ottens, so 4 seconds down, trying to close onto the back of them. And he's going to see this and think, okay, when is my time to move forward? Cody Sherritt, though, is this going to be the right time? Now caught in traffic to go into the pits. Maybe it's just to try and get a little bit of free air, and does so. So definitely tuned in along with Tariq Adam going and diving in. They both deciding that they are had enough with the traffic. Ryan Ottens coming by, and he's in third place, is going to be taking first place. So Ryan Ottens leading out the field. He's still got one pit stop to go. Giovanni coming around. Let's see if he's going to be able to get ahead, as to see Nicholas Manuel with a bit of a broken bonnet. And Nicholas Manuel trying to keep himself all together. He is a little bit further down the field, down in 25th position, and trying to battle his way through. So there we go. It does like Giovanni managing to bump himself into second place. Tariq Adam going down off the jacks. Cody Sherritt already exiting the pits. Sanjan Pillay coming across the line. Now that's going to put him up into 4th place. So let's see how the two Genesis Esports drivers are going to deal with this. They're down in 5th and 6th. Ryan Ottens, with a bit of a lead at the moment, has still got one mandatory pit stop. He has got Giovanni trying to chase him down. Giovanni trying to carve his way through the field, going up on the inside of Nicholas Manuel. Brandon Kruger up in 3rd place has still got one pit stop to go. Sanjan Pillay has got one pit stop to go. Splash and dash all around for every single one of these drivers. And let's see how it's going to work out. And I can tell you that the grandstands have come alive on both the Mettlestate grandstands out on twitch.tv/Mettlestate, and their grandstand has just been having an absolute cat jam of a party, which is great to see. And also out at the RaceFace grandstands, the guys are really putting in the support for the different drivers, and also trying to calculate who's going to get there, who's going to be able to travel their way up to the front. Now, interesting enough, Cody Sherritt 31.9 seconds in the pits. Tariq Adam 32.4. So Tariq Adam was actually slower in and out of the pits versus the likes of Cody Sherritt. He's only put in 0.1 of a second slower stop time in the box, which tells me he was too slow coming in or out, leaving the box. And that has slowed him up. That's where it's going to be closing down. The 8 minutes to go. Ryan Ottens into the pits. Let's see. Here's Giovanni coming by. He's going to be taking 1st place. Brandon Kruger taking 2nd. Where is Ryan Ottens coming out? Cody Sherritt coming across and just gets ahead of Ryan Ottens, bringing Tariq Adam. Ryan Ottens just exiting the pits with him slightly ahead. Now having to try and play a little bit of catch-up. Sanjan into the pits as well. He's going to be falling down. So Cody Sherritt now looking to try and claw his way through. Brandon Kruger in 2nd place, getting into the toe. He's trying to pull himself along and get away from Cody Sherritt. He is in 2nd with Giovanni, I'm going to say Porzio in 1st place. So Giovanni Porzio in 1st place and leading out for the moment. But he has got that mandatory pit stop looming overhead. He has to pull enough of a gap to get ahead of Ryan Ottens. And that is going to be a bit of a tough one. Brandon Kruger in 2nd place, also with that one single pit stop needed to be done. Cody Sherritt in 3rd. Tariq Adam in 4th. Ryan Ottens in 5th. Bashir Jadwat in 6th place, who was first of the guys to do all the pit stops, now lying in 6th place. He is 26.4 seconds behind Ryan Ottens. A very, very tall order to try and close down onto the back of him. And just take a look. Tariq Adam out in 4th place, trying to close down on his teammate at the moment as they battle their way through. And Giovanni coming across the line, and there's Brandon Kruger. So Brandon Kruger's into the pits. Giovanni deciding not just yet. Not just yet. It's not going to happen. He's going to have to go and really keep up the drive. He wants to try and get a little bit further up ahead. Hats off to it, but how much life has he got left into those tires? Yes, it is a new set of slicks on that car, but how long is he going to push it? Is it going to benefit him as time goes on? Cody Sherritt feeling the pressure as Tariq Adam 0.7 of a second behind, keeping the lights firmly ablaze onto the back, waiting for his opportunity to get by. Ryan Ottens in 4th place. Now we talk about working as a team. We always talk about the guys, helping each other out. But on the line for the championship, 10,000 Rand prize pool, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy. Yes, you've got your friend with you. You got your friends racing. But when it comes to money like that, well, the price of fuel has gone up. And maybe an early payday would be nice. And to score the honors of the championship for the Grid Championship, brought to you by Mettlestate and RaceFace, season number 3. And to score that honor to be a champion is not going to be one to snuff out. It's one that you want to cherish. It's one that you want to show off to the rest of the world. And we're going to see it as the races continue. The championship, all open cards for everyone. And Philip Minnar, who is leading the championship, is not within the top 10. So he's a little bit further down. Christian Deploy, who was up in second place into the championship, he's way down the order. So the championship is still wide open. It's round number 2. No one has gained any sort of advantage. Giovanni, he's out in first place, got one mandatory pit stop. He's going to fall a little bit down. I expect him to be roughly, I'd say, putting him down into 14th place. Johannes Kraling and Morgan McCall having a go with one another. But the grid's starting to close up to one another rather quickly. And as we see the guys battling it through, Morgan McCall doing everything he can. Johannes Kraling trying to get into the toe. But Giovanni up in first place. Cody Sherritt 8.5 seconds behind, so he will take that first place away. Tariq Adam 1.3 seconds behind Cody Sherritt. 3.6 seconds behind them, Ryan Ottens. He's waiting for the mistake. 27.5 seconds behind him is Bashir Jadwat. Fair enough. I think he's going to be a little bit more comfortable with that 5th place unless something goes wrong. But he has got Jason Absmeyer of Evolved Racing lying in 6th place. 7th is Brandon Kruger, followed by Gideon Rayner and Sanjan Pillay in 9th, trying to chase him down. And this is where it's all starting to get a little bit more serious for the guys. And they're going to have to try and figure out what's going to be the most benefit for him as they battle their way through. So let's see how it's all going to turn up as they battle their way. Around 3 minutes left to go. Giovanni pushing it. He's got 2 minutes to make this pit stop. He's essentially got 3 laps to do it. Well, I just want to shout out to Giovanni's dad. Please tell your son he's got 3 laps to make this pit stop and he's running out of time. He has to get into the box. I understand what he's trying to do, but it is starting to hurt him. Cody Sherritt, though, feeling the pressure from Tariq Adam, and I'm sure the teammates are starting to have words with one another saying, well, listen, I'm going to get round you. I'm going to go for that first place. And whether you like it or not, Cody, you're going to lose out. Cody Sherritt putting up the fight and saying, no, Tariq, you missed race number 1. I have a bit of time to get myself back up to the top, and I'd like to see it all work. So Cody Sherritt putting in a monstrous drive at the moment as he makes his way around the circuit. Tariq Adam trying to chase him down. Ryan Otter 3.6 seconds behind. A little bit closer, though, is Jason Absmeyer, Brandon Kruger. They fighting for position. And Gideon Rayner and Sanjan Pillay. And Sanjan actually getting onto the back of Gideon Rayner. That's 8th and 9th place coming into effect. So Gideon Rayner just keeping ahead of Sanjan Pillay as they go late onto the break. Sanjan trying everything he can. Gideon Rayner just focusing on the charge as they make some time up. And Brandon Kruger a little bit ahead, getting onto the back of Jason Absmeyer, the Evolved Racing team, now having to think of a quick way to go and dispatch Brandon Kruger, who is right behind as they get into tow, pulling themselves along, and it's going to be a monstrous battle between them. It does look like Brandon Kruger has got a little bit of a run. Absmeyer has got a little bit more straight line pace. There we go. Cody Sherritt taking first place. Tariq Adam in second place. Giovanni into the pits. So Giovanni into the pits after quite some time out in the car and releasing these two to slug it out for first place. With 1 minute 30 seconds to go, it is all or nothing for these drivers. Cody Sherritt trying to keep ahead of his teammate Tariq Adam. Ryan Otter's trying to close down the gap. He is 3.4 seconds behind. Giovanni still just coming out of the pits, and here comes Jadwat. Jadwat coming across the line. I think Giovanni just managed to keep ahead of Bashir. Bashir now trying to close down the gap late onto the brakes, slinging the Ferrari in and just trying everything he can. And not too far behind him is Jason Absmeyer along with Brandon Kruger. They all in tow with one another as they battle their way around the circuit. Each of these drivers focusing on a monstrous charge at the moment. And it's all or nothing for our drivers here at the Grid Championship. Season 3, round number 2. Our drivers all slugging it out right until the line. 25 seconds to go. Our leaders, Cody Sherritt, Tariq Adam, still keeping ahead. Ryan Otten's chasing him down. That's 6th and 7th position with Brandon Kruger and Jason Absmeyer still very close to one another. You can see Jason managing to keep ahead on pure straight line pace with Brandon Kruger doing everything he can under braking, utilizing that Ferrari's big brakes. And there we go. We've got Jim giving us word that our leaders are on the final lap. So Cody Sherritt on the final lap with Tariq Adam trying to chase him down. Now the question comes in. Has the orders been given to go and slug it out? Will Tariq Adam go and sit back and allow Cody Sherritt to take the honors? Or is he going to put up the fight? Will Cody Sherritt allow for Tariq Adam to get closed down on him as they battle it out? Ryan Ottens, though, is begging for them to have a fight with one another because it will end in his victory. So he's going to do whatever he can. Close racing a little bit further down. We've got Ryan Ottens in 3rd, Giovanni in 4th. 5th is Bashir Jadwat, followed by Jason Absmeyer. Brandon Kruger in 7th place, and 8th, Gideon Rayner, as they make their way around, getting past likes of Janneman Price. Tariq Adam giving chase, though, right into the toe. 0.2 of a second, 0.5 of a second now. Cody Sherritt doing everything he can to try and snap the slipstream of Tariq Adam. Hard onto the brakes at Ferrari, just not looking as stable as it needs to be. Tariq Adam getting a little bit closer, under braking, hoping that it will just be enough. But Cody Sherritt coming around, now just has to keep it all together. Couple of more corners to go as they honor almighty charge. Tariq Adam trying everything he can, hooking over curbs, late onto the brakes, takes a lunge, not able to make it stick. It's all about getting onto the power, into the toe. Cody Sherritt, though, making his way to the line, catches less of a slide. Cody Sherritt taking 1st place. Tariq Adam taking 2nd. Ryan Ottens will be taking 3rd place. Giovanni Prezzo keeping ahead of Bashir Jadwat will be taking 4th place. Bashir Jadwat of SRMC, I do apologize, in 5th place. Jason Absmeyer feeling the pressure from Brandon Kruger, Gideon Rayner, and Sanjan Pillay, all still racing it down. Jason trying to go a little bit later on the brakes. He is doing everything he can. Lying in 6th place, has got Brandon Kruger right behind him. Brandon Kruger just not able to get it. So Jason Absmeyer taking 6th place. Brandon Kruger in 7th. 8th place going to Gideon Rayner. Sanjan Pillay taking 9th place. Henry Mayo coming across the line. He'll be taking 10th. Jason McGregor will be finishing up in 11th place along with Bago Krobler in 12th. Morgan McCall in 13th place along with Johannes Kraling. Daniel Rowe in 15th place. SES Ace in 16th. Kurt Glasshagen right up against his rear bumper is looking to try and change it. Will Essie lose out the position right towards the line? Kurt's trying his best, but just not able to. Essie just narrowly holding on to that 16th position. Kurt getting 17th. Alan Patterson, 18th. 19th goes to Grant Sebastian, followed by Bernard King, Ronaldo Bosma, followed by Johan van der Merwe coming across the line. Dean Kabassa coming across. Johan Kleinans also doing a fantastic job. Jude Neville in 25th. Nicholas Manuel in 26th. Darren Miller, Janneman Price in 28th. 29th, Cameron DeBastos. Daniel DeMachos Petro in 30th. Followed by Justin Lotus, Ramon Ionka, Andre Serradio, Rio Mouton. Mouton going and rounding off in 31st. Woo! What a race, ladies and gentlemen. What a race. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and right down to the wire, all the drivers put in a phenomenal work. All the teams having to work a bit of overtime here at the Grid Championship round number 2. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for round number 2, done and dusted here at Barcelona. Round number 3, we're going to be moving over to Monza, and that is going to be next week. So make sure that you go and keep up to date with everything happening here at the Grid Championship, brought to you by Mettlestate and RaceFace. A big shout out to our sponsors for making this possible. We're glad to have it, and also to Mettlestate for being a season sponsor. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, big thank you to all the drivers, teams, the families, to you guys, spectators, for inviting me into your home, sitting on the couch and going and talking your ear off until you go red in the face and going deaf in the one ear. It's been an absolutely phenomenal run, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time here. So make sure you hit the follow button along with the subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. So head over to twitch.tv/Mettlestate. Go and enjoy all the amazing competitions happening that side. And if you're out on YouTube, look up RaceFace.Pro. Registration still open for both the Sprint Series and for the Grid Championship. So make sure you go over to Mettlestate and go over to RaceFace to go and enter into the Sprint Series and also the Grid Championship. Lots of different categories. Doesn't matter if you're pro, it doesn't matter if you am. As long as you're having fun, that's all that counts. Now we move on to round number 3. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe. We're on our way to moving ourselves forward next week to Monza. I would like to say from myself, Stephen Koenig, and to my co-commentator, not here this evening, but did give us some insight, Jan Price. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening for round number 2 of the Grid Championship Series. Absolutely amazing to have you guys here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the follow, and also the bell notification icon out on Twitch and on YouTube. Lots happening during the course of this week and the next. So we do have the RaceFace Dirt Championship round number 2 starting Sunday the 14th of May as we head out to Spain. So if you enjoy slinging a little bit of mud and sliding around to be number 1 in the world for any dirt rally stages, well, head over to RaceFace.Pro. Registration still open. Moving on from that, we do have the RaceFace Sprint Series round number 3 Wednesday the 17th of May, where you get to go and have a huge amount of fun in 55 minutes racing against fastest in South Africa as they vie for that championship, for the Sprint Series Championship. Glad to see it out there and hoping to see a monstrous field at Monza. Cannot forget, though, the Grid Championship round number 3, also at Monza, Thursday the 18th of May. Everyone going for that massive prize pool of 10,000 Rand, brought to you by Mettlestate. So it is definitely not to be missed, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a look forward to everyone moving on. But do not fret, there is plenty going on over at Mettlestate, so stay tuned as we go and take a look at a couple of videos going and showing off the awesome competitions that are open to you all, the public. Till next time, we'll see you right here at the Grid Championship Series as we move to round number 3 at Monza.
Big space on the wide side for Hakimi, making a beautiful burst of run. Nice little skip to cut back inside. Beautiful pass, takes the shot.
That's a goal.
Now Hakimi on the ball. Lovely little step over.
Masoon takes first blood.
Oh, what a beautiful
that's
one.
an equalizer. Oh, yeah, we have a chance here. Oh, is this going to be a goal? That's a beautiful goal.